Hey y'all, I'm back with a scrapbook and project life process video for the Hip Kit Club using the October 2016 kits. And for this video, I'm going to show you guys how I did a project life spread as well as a 12 by 12 layout. I'm actually going to do back-to-back 9 by 12 spreads in this video and also a back-to-back 6 by 12 spread. So it's kind of a longer video than normal. It's about twice as long because I am doing more than I usually do. Okay, so I'll kind of walk you through what I'm doing. On the left side is the start of week 39, and I'm just going to work on my title card and simply put WK and then 39 from the exclusive Hip Kit Club stickers or alpha stickers. And they're really pretty salmony pink color, and they go perfectly with the collections. The Honey I'm Home by We Are Memory Keepers, the Dear Lizzie Saturday collection, the Simple Stories Carpe Diem collection. So I really love those. On the card over to the right of that is a picture of my husband and a fish he caught. He was actually out of town on a fishing trip, and he sent me a picture of a fish he caught. And I like including little bits of our lives when we're not together too, because I think that's fun to look back on. And so right now I'm just kind of looking, I've got my photos pretty much in place, and because I'm doing it a little differently and I'm not using all like 2x2 photos or 3x3 photos like I was before, it does make the process go a little bit quicker, and really all I'm doing is mostly embellishing. And so the filler cards take a little bit longer than usual, not a little bit longer than usual, a little bit longer than decorating like pictures, obviously, or photos. But I'm just simply looking at all the different items that came in our Project Life kit, but also our main kit and embellishment kit too. So on this particular card, I was at work and I was actually in a training, and I realized that I don't know when I realized it, but I realized that I got the wrong coffee from Starbucks. It was the same coffee I ordered, like the same flavor, but wrong person, and this person's order was a mobile order, and the name on it was Angela, so I don't know like how I didn't look at the name. I think I just picked it up because I heard them say my name, and I had gotten something for breakfast too, and so I picked up my breakfast, and then I picked up the coffee that was sitting next to it. And anyone who knows me knows that I like I don't know how to explain it. I don't like to do things that other people might think I'm doing on purpose, even though I'm not. So if I if I walked out of a store or something accidentally, even though I don't think I've ever done that, but if I've walked out of a store or something accidentally, I would freak out thinking I'm about to go to jail, or I don't know. It's just, I think the way that I was raised and stuff is like try to do the right thing. And so I try to, for the most part. So anyone who knows me knows that I would like freak out about something like that. And so I took a picture of it and sent it to my coworkers. It's like, crap, y'all, I need to call Starbucks. I totally picked up the wrong coffee. I bet Angela is still waiting for hers. And I don't know exactly what I said, but I said something like that. And so they laughed, of course, and I get made fun of in a funny way for saying things like that. And so anyway, I had to capture that I picked up the wrong coffee and that I totally freak out about that kind of stuff. Okay, so on these are rub-ons from, I think that they're from the Maggie Holmes Gather collection, but I could be wrong. And so I'm just using several of those just to kind of add a little something extra, either to like my photo or to that filler card right there in the middle. And then I'm looking at some of the different clear stickers from the Simple Stories Carpe Diem collection. I'm going to add a couple of those, but I actually don't think I end up liking that. The reason I didn't like that is because I felt like it didn't really show up with those Snapchat pictures of Ava, and so I covered that up with the camera that I originally wanted to use. The card that I just added something to, I think I used my tiny attacher to add 2 little labels or 2 little sticker phrases to it. And the reason that I took that picture because it was, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw it, but it's of my daughter in a fuzzy bear hat. And anyone who lives in Texas knows that it doesn't really get super cold here, but we get kind of like, in a way, made fun of for like how we freak out when it's like cold or icy or whatever. And so this is like the perfect example that My daughter, my daughter's going to go for a ride in her little car. My husband normally pushes her up and down the street, and I was like, well, it's kind of cool outside. We had gotten like a small little cold front. Like seriously, it was probably like in the 70s, or maybe it was a little less than that. And I think I just posted that anytime it's under 80 degrees, we like get dressed up like it's, like it's a blizzard outside. But anyway, so I just posted that picture of her, and I thought that was cute. And I put that number, that 6 tag there next to my husband. And right now at this point, I'm not really sure if I'm going to use it, but I'm adding some washi, and that's from the Simple Stories collection. But I do end up using that tag because it represents the size of the fish. And so the fish was 6 pounds. And of course, my husband will know what that means years from now, and I should know, hopefully. But he had told me that's how big the fish was. And somebody had mentioned in I think it was my box opening video, they were curious about how people would use those. And I think they would be really cool with like strung like with a like banner with string and placed on a page. Or I think that's cool to represent something, some sort of if it's like a first birthday, or somebody's like 8 months or whatever. So I used it for the size of the fish that my husband caught. Okay, so for this side of the spread, I'm sorry, I probably missed quite a bit on that other spread of like walking you through what I was doing, but I am going pretty quick here. I'm using an insert that is Becky Higgins, and it actually has 3 4x6 lined up, or like vertical, and I'm going to work on the front side and the back side to that. And I'm actually, the Becky Higgins page protectors do not fit in the Studio Calico page protector, and so you have to punch your own holes. So just keep that in mind if you're buying like a Studio Calico binder, that if you have Becky Higgins inserts and you want to use them and you want to cut them down, like this one was 12 by 12, but I cut it down to 6 by 12, and you can certainly do that, but you have to make sure that you punch the correct holes. And so just line it up and use your hole puncher to punch it. And yes, you'll have some extra holes in there, but that, to me, that doesn't bother, it doesn't bother me, but I don't know if it would you. So I was studying for an exam, and any of you who follow me on Instagram probably saw this, but I was studying for an exam, and it's actually just a clinical exam for to become a licensed clinical social worker. And so I studied for it, and I did pass, which was good. And so I just wanted to document that I was studying quite a bit that week. And so I screenshot, if that's even a word. I took a screenshot of one of the questions I was studying from an app that I had that was kind of helping me. So, and then a couple of these cards are going to be filler cards. Well, really just the top one and the middle one. The top one has my journaling on it. That middle on the right, the middle back side, is going to have that word love going across, and that's the Jen Hadfield words, and those are pretty big, and I love them. And then I'm going to place some journaling on the bottom of that. Actually, no, I'm not. I punched it just a regular ticket, and then I just put a word phrase sticker from, I think it was from the Simple Stories collection. And that was it for that. And you guys will see some close-ups here in a second. So on the layout, I knew that I wanted to use the wood grain paper right away, and I actually got an extra one of those. And so I have 2 sheets. Well, I think I do. I don't know. I may only have 2 sheets, but for some reason I thought that they had accidentally given me 3. And so I'm definitely using 1 for my background. And I saw this paper that had these like chevron arrow type things on them, and so I knew right away that I wanted to use them as part of like a big element on the page. And so at first I think about just placing them all on top, and then I decide I'm going to have some going diagonal. So I'm going to have 1 arrow on the bottom right hand and then 2 on the top left hand. And then I just really quickly layered behind my photo using some of the Dear Lizzy papers, and then I think I used maybe one of the Gather papers as well. At this point, I'm thinking I want to work on my title, because embellishing can get really out of hand, like for me with a design like this, because there's so many spots to add embellishments on top of the arrows, above the arrows, beneath the arrows, around the photo, and it really makes it, I don't want to say easy to embellish, but it gives you like a lot of options. And so at this point, at that point, I thought I was going to use the title, but then I thought, no, I'm just going to go ahead and look and see what I want to use as embellishments, and then I'll figure out what I want my title to be, because I really didn't know at this point. And I thought if I find a piece of ephemera that is big enough to be my title, I'm going to use it. But I ended up not doing that, and you'll see here in a second what I did do. So I'm going to use a couple of pieces from the Honey I'm Home collection, the wood veneer and the ephemera. And then I'm also going to use a few pieces from the Dear Lizzie Saturday ephemera pack. And then right here, again, I'm looking at my title, didn't see anything on there that I wanted to use. And so at this point, I'm just still adding bits and pieces. One thing I really love when layering is, and maybe I'll do like a special video just on layering, but and maybe I'll show you a few different options. But one thing I really like about layering is like tucking. So not feeling like you have to get all your layers done at the beginning, that you can understand that like you can go back and add stuff in between, and to where it's poking out and to where you see bits and pieces of all the little things. And so I think that sometimes is intimidating for people to layer, because they don't want things to not be seen. But I think that's one of the things I'm loving about layering lately. So at this point, I've decided I like the word heart, and I like that I want to use that. And so I am going to title my page My Whole Heart, which I'm sure I've done before. But at this point, I just want to focus on the first two parts, and then I'm going to add in the heart right underneath. So I like the way that looks, and then I'm just going to kind of tuck the heart in there. And then I'm going to add a little something on the right side of the whole, the word whole, and on the left side of the heart, because I feel like there's too much blank space there, and it's hard to to me, it's not cohesive enough. And so I am going to add something, and here's where I add a couple of little, well, don't add that flower, but I do add some little leaves, and I think that turned out cute. Also added that string of lights up at the top, which I wasn't quite sure about, but I did end up liking, and then that bird. And I actually wanted to pop up that bird on foam dots, but I don't go back and do that because I felt like it was stuck when I did try to go back and do that. And then I added two hearts, one on each side of the word my. And then I don't think I add a whole lot more other than maybe some arrows from the chipboard sticker sheet. That's what I'm doing now. And then that pretty much finishes up the layout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this process. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend.